If recent claims are true, Deadlock's most unrefined component is about to finally get some much needed changes. Hey everyone, this is Connor here at Dead Unlocked, and today we're going to talk about matchmaking and why this could very easily be the next thing we see patched in Deadlock, and why that patch could be coming as early as this week. I'm talking about this today for a number of different reasons, but one of the most pressing reasons is there was a post by Minesweeper last night, a kind of notable Deadlock leaker we've talked about previously on the channel, claiming there should be a new patch pretty soon dedicated to fixing matchmaking and quality of life plus optimizations. It may happen as early as this week, as a significant amount of feedback has been collected, the most extensive feedback in 2 years by a new round of 20 plus testers. So lots of claims here by Minesweeper, but the biggest one we're going to talk about in this video is that we should expect maybe some matchmaking updates coming as early as this week. And if you've talked to anyone in Deadlock's community in a range of different elos, this I think is one of the more agreed upon facets of the game that needs work, needs updates, and feels really unpolished. And this claim by Minesweeper really does make sense to me because it feels like devs have been tinkering with the game for a while now, in particular the game's matchmaking, where, we saw the new player rank changes, or like how their ranks were affected coming into the game, after there was a lot of new players in Phantom and Oracle and whatnot. I've seen Yoshi replying to some messages on the Deadlock Discord, one in particular about like match disparity with a really high ranked match. And then there was the other night, there was like something affecting long queue times, and the fix was rolled out for that. So it feels like devs are working on this facet of the game on the back end in particular. So it does, like I said, it does kind of add up that we should expect something to do with matchmaking. And if nothing else, I think we can all agree that matchmaking has been arguably the most consistently problematic part of the game, kind of arguably the most ignored part of the game, I would say. But again, in the game's early access period, it really does make sense that you're not going to refine the specifics of skill-based matchmaking when you're trying to figure out how the game works instead. So in any case, I'll be very interested to see what the quality of life and what the optimizations are that Minesweeper's talking about here, and if it's going to be as early as this week. The other really kind of important nugget I would say comes from this is that we're getting a significant amount of feedback, the most extensive feedback in 2 years by a new round of 20 plus testers. So this is exciting. I mean, this is showing, number one, that devs are going to continue to invest in the game's experimental server as kind of their means for continuing to refine the game and build the game out. Maybe this is kind of like a last push again before like a summer open beta or something. In any case, though, it is exciting to see that we're getting a lot more data, and this is the kind of stuff that we really think could improve the game. I at least really think could improve the game. If we are getting more data about matchmaking in particular, that should rather prove to really help the player experience. Getting a little bit to like the specifics of what we should expect with this patch, I made a video towards the end of February kind of talking about some leaks that had come out at the time about like a potential draft mode, or kind of like this tarot card animation when you load into a game. I don't know if that will necessarily be what we see here. Like, I mean, those are matchmaking adjacent in the sense that they would add a new queue and would certainly affect matchmaking. But I don't know if that is going to be the thing in this patch. Minesweeper followed up in a few replies to folks and kind of seemed to clarify that this seemed like it was more of like a mid-season balance kind of patch. So I expect more just like back-end bug fixes, things that we may not see tangible effects of in the game, but at least in the sense of like visuals. But I think the hope obviously is that we get tangible effects when it comes to like our games feeling closer and just matchmaking feeling like it's more robust in general. It is a bit vague because we don't know exactly what's coming, but I will say I am someone I'm really excited about matchmaking fixes. Matchmaking in the standard mode is something that's always been, I mean, since the game came out and since I started playing in 2024, it's been hard to take the mode seriously in terms of rank because it's always felt like it's so all over the place. And again, I've talked about this in past videos, but there's really not a place right now in the game to play a standard game of Deadlock where you're like testing a build or testing how this item might work at 10 minutes, right? You just have to do that in a game that's going to affect your rank. And so a lot of players, I feel like, shy away from doing that, or if they do, they just end up throwing a ranked game. And that's in particular what I feel like I end up doing. So I've been playing a lot more Street Brawl lately, kind of in light of the matchmaking problems, but I really think a matchmaking fix, and if it were to really feel refined, maybe they do add like another queue or a draft or something like that. I think that is a massive, massive step forward for the game. And again, just feels like another one of those building blocks that we have to get along as Deadlock gets closer and closer to a full release or open beta or whatever the case may be. In any case, be on the lookout for a patch this week if what Minesweeper's saying is correct. And honestly, I would be on the lookout. Devs have been loving kind of the Friday evening patch recently, so I would kind of keep an eye Friday evening if you're playing. There could be a huge matchmaking change rolled out. whenever it happens, just be on the lookout for matchmaking changes coming to the game. Whether this claim is correct or not, I really think devs are pretty proven at this point to be working on matchmaking on the back end, especially when you add up some of those other facets we've talked about. So this is one of those changes I am very, very excited about, along with a lot of the changes we talked about yesterday and earlier in the week. There's a lot of excitement kind of building around what's next in Deadlock again, as we all kind of try and figure out what that could be. But if anything's clear from the last update, it's probably going to surpass our expectations and feature a whole lot of new stuff that we really don't even expect. So, especially if there's this extra round of data and these 20 new testers coming to the test server, I'm really, really excited to see what devs cook up. But in any case, thank you all so much for tuning in. Excited to see these changes. And from our house to yours, we'll see you all next time here at Dead Unlocked.